And now shifting our focus, a disturbing pattern is emerging from Bangladesh yet again. Just days after the brutal killing of a Hindu school teacher and 3 members of his family in the Rangpur, another Hindu family has reportedly gone missing, and this time in Chandpur. Five members of the family are untraceable. They include Pintu Das, owner of the SK Shilpalaya in Chandpur town, his wife Rimi, and their 2 sons, Priyam and Rupam. The disappearance was confirmed by Upmade, a close relative of the Pintu Das and the joint convener of the Chandpur district Hindu Buddhist Christian Student Unity Council. Now, where has the family gone and what happened to them exactly is the question that we are asking. And there is another disturbing allegation emerging from the Rangpur massacre. According to the statement attributed to the local dom who conducted the autopsy, 2 female members of the family, Preetilata Chakraborty and her daughter Agami, were allegedly raped before they were murdered. The allegation is particularly serious because the family were brutally killed in their house. But questions are now being raised over the autopsy report. Reports circulating about the case claim that the alleged sexual assault was not mentioned in the post-mortem findings. If the allegations are established, why was such a crucial detail was missing from the medical report? Was vital evidence overlooked or deliberately left out? The disappearance of another Hindu family coming so soon after the Rangpur killings has intensified concerns among Bangladesh's Hindu minority. The allegations surrounding the Rangpur victims has also demanded a transparent investigation. And the questions are stuck. Where is the Chandpur family? What happened to the 4 missing members? Why is there an alleged discrepancy between the DOM's statement and the autopsy finding? And most importantly, will Bangladesh authorities ensure a transparent investigation and reveal the full truth? And to discuss more on this, I am being joined by Ambassador Veena Sikri, former Indian diplomat. Ambassador Sikri, thank you so much for taking out the time and joining me on the broadcast. Unfortunately, again, a disturbing pattern emerging from Bangladesh. Ambassador, your assessment of the new report, the fresh reports that we're getting, that after the Rangpur case, which has shocked the entire nation and entire world, another family has gone missing in Bangladesh, another Hindu family targeted in Bangladesh. Your assessment, Ambassador?
Yes, this is indeed a very, very disturbing and absolutely horrendous story emerging from Bangladesh. And it's really been an unchanging pattern for the last 2 years.
Right.
Ever since the 5th of August, when Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina left Dhaka, you recall that in our Prime Minister's message, even on 8th of August, sent to the new Chief Advisor at that time, Dr. Mohammed Yunus, he had mentioned that we request that the minorities, the safety of the minorities, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Christians, the Ahmadiyyas and others, they should be given due priority, because even at that time, within those few days, these horrendous news had started emerging. But nothing has happened to change the situation over the last 2 years. And this is what I think the government of Bangladesh really has to answer for, because there has been absolutely such a dismaying pattern, a cruel, bestial pattern, that one after the other, the minorities are being taken out. Somebody was the other day, you heard that the person who was working in a factory, and the factory was surrounded, and this person was meekly handed over to the mob who was baying for his blood, and then he was killed, he was lynched, he was hanged from a post, and nothing happened. The government promises they will take action, and nothing happened. Now, in the last 6 months after the election of Prime Minister Tariq Rahman, the estimate was that there would be a change in the situation, there would be an improvement, and there would be a definite attempt to stop these attacks on the minorities. But nothing has happened. And at the end of June this year, we had the Hindu Buddhist Christian Aikyya Parishad publishing another report for the last 6 months as to what has been happening. And it showed that an alarming number of rapes, of attacks, of destruction of businesses, grabbing of property. And now we have these 2 horrendous stories from Rangpur and Chandpur about whole families having been, just put out. I mean, the story in Rangpur is so disturbing, as you say, that first the family was killed, all 4 members were killed, and then the state and the local district magistrate tried to put it out that, oh, this is an internal feud between the same community, and they arrested 2 people. But then now the news that is emerging that actually the family had been killed in a radical Islamist attack, because the dome has revealed that in fact the women had been murdered, and in fact even the young boy who was murdered, even there was evidence of assault and so on. And I think that this shows that the local administration is just not taking any interest. They are burying everything under the carpet, trying to, paper over these incidents. And now the second family from Chandpur, the incident is even more worrisome. And I think that the global community has to take note of this sharp deterioration in the life and safety and care for the minorities in Bangladesh. The absolutely carelessness, the non-seriousness, the appalling sense of indifference that has emerged in Bangladesh to the safety of the minorities. There's hundreds and thousands who have lost their jobs, their teachers and professors and academicians and people working in factories, just because of their religion, their jobs are taken away. And there are others where people are not able to go to work. They've been told to stay at home, and there is no way out. There's no approach for them. Chinmoy Das has been in jail for the last 2 years because he had been organizing, the demonstrations by the minority community, saying we are not going to leave Bangladesh. This is our home. We are citizens here. We want answers.
Right.
And in response for that, he was arrested and he's still in jail.
Ambassador Sikri, this is clearly human rights violation, and this is clearly targeted violence against the Hindu community in Bangladesh. The allegations that are resurfacing from the Rangpur case, where the female was sexually assaulted before being murdered, and the fact that that information was not revealed in the autopsy report, is also exposing a disturbing pattern, because first the government was turning a blind eye, but now they are actually colluding and concealing the truth of the horrendous crime that is happening in Bangladesh. Where do you think now this disturbing pattern, and what will happen to the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh and India's diplomatic ties, which is already on a low? What will happen? What is the road ahead for the ties between the two countries now?
Well, I certainly hope that the Indian government will take this up very strongly and will convey its absolute sense of horror and dismay and deep, deep disappointment that the government of Prime Minister Tariq Rahman has not been able to fulfill its very basic and essential obligations to ensure the safety and security of its citizens, particularly the minority citizens. And I really hope that this will be taken up, because there is no other way to bring awareness to the people. Even the media there is so indifferent now. They don't even bother to cover it.
Right.
They don't bother to talk about it. This is a real
Right.
indifference of everybody that is emerging, and we have to make sure that this does not continue at all. And we have to also make sure that globally this is taken. The human rights aspects are looked at by all the human rights organizations, and that they are sharply looked at. So I really hope that this is a wake-up call, because we had hoped that for the last 6 months the situation will improve and it will come back to normal, but this hasn't happened. So this sudden attack, again cruel, on these two families, I hope it's a sharp wake-up call, and we will take up the situation strongly once again.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for taking out the time and joining me on the broadcast. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.